This is video number 8 in the series of videos for constructing our target application. It is also the third one in stage 3. In the previous one, we have dealt with a script called trigger on key, and we also performed step number 11. We played, we were able to rotate the bullet left and right using, A, D, or the arrow keys, and we were able to launch it using the key B. Don't forget to stop. We did. So that means that we're up to step number 12. Same procedure. Now we got a script called ExplodeWhenHit. Where do we find the script? We find it here. And to remind us, ExplodeWhenHit belongs to, if I open the prefab target container, it belongs to the target viz, because at first the only thing the user will see is the visual part of the target. Here it is, ExplodeWhenHit. By the way, since we're here, let me show you another way to open a script. If you see it as a component that belongs to an object, to a game object, you can always drop down the 3 little dots and edit script from here. So either double clicking on it when you find the script, or like this, same way of launching it. While it's opening, I'm going to go to my browser, and here is, codes to copy paste. It should be part of the module 7, and we already did the first 2, and now we're up to the third one. Code for ExplodeWhenHit. As you can see, also not a very long code. Highlight all those lines. Make sure I got all the lines, not more, not less. Copy, go to my code editor, make sure it's the right one, paste. As usual, the first 2 things I do is save. Second thing I do is make sure that the name of the main class, including case sensitivity, matches the name of the file. Capital E, capital W, capital H. Again, the only library that we're using is the Unity engine. For this one, we don't need anymore. In this case, the first thing right after we open the public class is to declare 2 public fields. One, to cast the actor that will play the explosion, so we know what to enable when it's hit. And it's going to be, let's call it, it's Silent Brother, this one. We're going to cast that one once we have the fields. And it also needs to know what to disable, which means itself, and that's the target viz. It's going to disable itself and enable the explosion when hit. It actually is almost the whole job of this script, but it has one more job. It needs to report to the main script, to the application data, that there was one more fire and one more hit. So let's see how that works. So we will populate these fields in the next step. And as you can see, there is no start or update. The only main function here, until we get to the little one at the end, is on collision enter. I don't think we've done this on any previous applications, so it deserves an explanation. On collision enter is a built-in function, a built-in method in the Unity engine. And what it does is detect collision between 2 colliders, 2 objects that have a collider. The event that's going to trigger this is collision, and it's got to be spelled this way. This is not something we can change. And the second word is something I made up. It's, sometimes just, it says collision in lowercase, which is really confusing, like collision. So what I replace it with is basically like naming an object or naming a variable. I just said, you know what? Let's name the object that caused the collision is what hit me, because that's really what the target is asking. Hey, I sense that someone is touching me. It's a collision. What hit me? And then we can start asking questions. So inside the on collision enter, the first thing is an if that asks basically who hit me. If what hit me dot game object dot tag equals bullet. If you remember, it's the last thing we did in stage 2 is attach the tag bullet to the bullet container. This way, no matter how many instances we have on it, this is a way to identify all of them. Any one of them, if it's a bullet, it will have like a tag on it, like a post-it note that says "I am bullet." It's very case sensitive, so it's got to be lowercase bullet. At this point, would be a good thing to check to go back to Unity. Go to the bullet container and check that it actually has the tag bullet. If it has any other tag, or if bullet is spelled any other way, it won't work. It's like, it came with the wrong ID. So if it is a bullet, it's saying, first of all, this senses something touched me. What hit me? Does what hit me have the tag bullet? Yeah, that means that, a hit was made. What else can touch it? It can be touched by the wall, for instance. If the game's object tag matches the bullet, two simple things are going to happen. The target explosion is going to be activated, and the target visual, the actual cylinder, is going to be deactivated. That's the main job. But we also want two more things to happen. Three more things to happen. First of all, if the bullet hits the target, at once we want the bullet to disappear, like it exploded with the explosion. So destroy is not just making it inactive, it's removing it altogether. Otherwise, if we just make it inactive, it will we will have a bunch, like 10 inactive bullets, invisible ones, and that would just weigh down on the CPU. We don't want that. So we're actually destroying it. We also want to destroy the target container. You hit the target, you're destroying it. But we don't want to destroy it right away, because we want to see the explosion. Remember, the explosion is a child of the target container. So we use a function called invoke. Invoke means call a function with a little delay. We're going to invoke a function called destroy target container. It's defined right here. I gave it a name. It's a custom name. 2.5 means 2.5 seconds. Why 2.5 seconds? That's exactly the length that's needed for the explosion to play all the way through, and the sound that's attached to it to play all the way through. So it will destroy, if there's a hit, it will destroy the bullet right away, but it'll destroy the target container that it hit only after the explosion had a chance to play all the way through. Now, since this is a custom function, it has to be defined. So here it is. Public void, as we will discuss in class, doesn't mean canceled. It just means that it performs a job and is not required to come back, does not return a value. So in this case, it's like, let's define. What does destroy target container mean? What will it do after 2.5 seconds? It will do three things. First of all, it will destroy its parent object. Let's see. What do you mean by parent object? Who's being hit? The target viz with its collider. Who does it need to destroy? The whole container. That's its parent. So, first of all, destroy the whole parent after 2.5 seconds. And now it's also going to report to the application data, to the main screen, make new bullet true, make new target true. And as we saw in that script, it knows, oh, if I need to make a new bullet, it will update the count, it will update the count of, what hit, what missed, and so on. Save. What should happen now? I should be able to, if I hit a target, I should be able to see it exploded, but only if I go to the next script. So this is explode when hit. In the prefabs folder, we're going to select target container and open it, which we actually already did. And inside of that, target viz. And now here are our two public fields. What do I explode and what do I disable when there's a hit? What do I explode? The explosion, even though it's disabled, that's the one it's going to enable. So target explosion, my explosion. And target viz is much simpler, target viz. Make sure you don't mix them up. This is actually illustrated right here in the next step. The way to test it is to try to hit something. If I don't, I'll have to stop and play again. This seems to be a little, rather easy. Let's see if I could do that. It actually my speakers were off, and it actually generated a new bullet and a new target. Great. Let me stop and play again. If I miss, nothing will happen because we have one more script for the missed shot. But if I hit, exactly happened what I wanted. If you noticed, target viz became invisible, the explosion became enabled, played its little animation and its little sound, and after 2.5 seconds destroyed itself, and the bullet got destroyed, and instead it instantiated a new bullet and a new target at a random place. The only thing that's not going to work at this stage is if I deliberately, let's say, miss. It's just like trying to drill into the wall. That means we got one more script to populate, which is the wall script. This is going to happen on the next part of the tutorial. Never forget to stop if you played.